And welcome, social media, Facebook, YouTube, Internet. My name is Jabril Suleiman, and this is the Pensacola Perspective, a show that highlights some of the social and political initiatives here in Pensacola, Florida. And our main mission is to give individuals, groups, a platform for them to be able to express their thoughts, sentiments, initiatives in a way that really no other platform is giving these individuals the ability to do. So today we have Mr. Timothy Jones. I actually had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman earlier this year. Actually, it's been a short relationship that we've had as far as me understanding the initiatives and the passion that this guy has in really pushing veteran affairs here in Pensacola, Florida. This is a gentleman that has received a distinguished award, the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, directly from President Obama. He was homeless just a few years ago, and he's really picked up, pulled himself together, and really has created a movement like no other. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Timothy Jones to the show.
Hello, Jabril. How you doing, my friend?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I, I tell you, man, I'm happy to have you on the show. It's so great. After seeing I've heard your story maybe 4 times now. Of course, you've given some keynote addresses. I want to talk about that a little bit with UWF. But just take 2 minutes and give us. I know that's a short time, but give us 2 minutes. Where did you come from, Tim? What's fueling your passion right now?
Wow, I tell you, I can do that in 2 minutes. I came from Graceville, Florida, a very, very small town, about an hour and 30 minutes east of Pensacola. I came from humble beginnings to rise to the military. I had some challenges, I had some unfortunate events, and I went on a journey of about 12 years of discovery of who I am, rediscovery of community. And what's fueling my passion, I tell you, at 13 years old, I told my mom I was going to do 3 things. I was going to be rich, I was going to live in Japan, and I was going to have some bad times. And my mom really looked at me and said, well, babe, you got one out of the 3 done. So I come from that drive of being better than I was the day before. And to correct you a little bit, I was homeless at the beginning of this year. I just graduated the Volunteers of America program January 30th, and I got my home. So I come from really just wanting to make it.
Hold on, man. Maybe I've missed that before, but you said you were homeless up until this year?
Up until I graduated that program at Volunteers of America, January 30th, February 1st, I moved into my apartment.
Wow, wow. Now, you visited Japan, and you did that by the way of active duty in the military, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. And over in Japan, and this is part of your story, but that was where those unfortunate events kind of started everything off, correct?
Absolutely, and to elaborate, because I stand on my story, I don't stand in it anymore. But in Japan, I was sexually assaulted. I had a shipmate who committed suicide, and I experienced hazing. And to put it in perspective, the military is very vastly different than today than it was then. So there really was not a focus on mental health. There wasn't a focus on let's get this guy the needed resources he needs. It really was a different look on how men behave, and at that time these things didn't happen to men. So it was really about battling that, and so that's where the trauma happened there. And then the last 12 years is with me um, really putting myself through re-traumatizing myself. So
Well, now you have this initiative. It's called Colorful Voices,
Yes.
and you speak to your own when someone's well when you speak on your past, you you said you've always often gotten the actual description of your past as being colorful. So,
Yes.
I mean, explain, is that part of that colorful past there, or is there some events that have occurred that actually evoke an emotion from someone to say, hey, that's colorful, or explain that part?
Oh, absolutely. 2 years ago, when I really was ready to get back and get back on the horse, I was told that I'm not the guy that people wanted that you wanted to represent veterans. I don't look like your traditional veteran. I don't sound like your traditional veteran, and I haven't experienced a lot of things that our men and women have. So I was told at that time that I wasn't the face of what people were looking for. And then I was also told that I'm that guy with the colorful background, and I made mistakes, and I stand on those mistakes, and I hold myself accountable for that. And so that does evoke an emotion for me. It wasn't until very recently that I've been blessed with the mentorship that has really helped really springboard me back into society. And that's where Colorful Voices comes from, is because that's missing. I was solely seeking an opportunity to just be better than I was and to transform my life. And it's been a journey. And Colorful Voices stems from having to allow our veterans, our men and women, regardless of their background, an opportunity to connect with those that want to offer that support and guidance.
So you were a participant in the third, this is the third Pensacola Startup Weekend Pensacola, which is an initiative that used to be at the Robotics Institute, and they've moved it to UWF for this last go around. And the initiative is around pushing and creating generally tech related startup ideas, providing a platform for those ideas to actually flourish. You were a participant, and you you explained your story uh, to everyone. And part of explaining that ideal and that story for the startup, you have to get a team together. So actually, you assembled the team and you launched the startup. Just explain your experience in being involved. And I don't understand. I don't know your tech-related background, but coming to a tech-related competition like that, and really starting a business within 54 hours with a team. How was that experience for you? And where are you going to go with Colorful Voices now that is partly started?
I tell you, I don't have a tech background. I'm not a tech guy. I think the most techie thing I've done is play my DVD player or go on my iPad. Um, and so the closest I ever got to that, I was able to go to Google 2 years ago through SVA, and that weekend was similar startup weekend where you assemble 50 people. And so on the campus of UWF, it was kind of refreshing to me. I was transported back to Google, and I didn't assemble the team. The team assembled around me. And to really spend 54 hours to take what was in my head, I literally, they took my vision and made it their own. And it's something I've always said, is that Colorful Voices is not about me. It's about the community at large. It's about a larger. It is a movement. And to work with the team I had never been in a synergistic experience where literally um, I we threw it up, threw balls up, and everyone grabbed their piece and grabbed onto it and really took the ball and ran with it. And we produced an amazing product that was different than the other techs out there, and it was an amazing experience to be embraced by the tech community.
Okay, so I jumped ahead a little bit. Colorful Voices was something that you've experienced as far as saying towards your background.
Yeah.
You took that, you put a name behind it, you created that name and an initiative. And really explain what that initiative is. What is Colorful Voices? You've got it started through the help of Startup Weekend, but what is it, and what do you want to go with Colorful Voices? That initiative.
The initiative and where I want to take it, and basically, I am that guy with a colorful background. We all have a color to our voice. You are bringing your brand of color to this community, and from what I had experienced from that negative connotation, I really wanted to make it a positive. I wanted to not wallow in that and take that and spin it to really what it means, and that is reigniting the color within each person's voice. And that is connecting someone who has had adversity. We all go through adversity. And so now those individuals, those veterans in our community here in Pensacola are seeking a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up. Uh, I am a product of Colorful Voices, and when I was paired with a mentor, when I was paired with someone in the business community, it allowed me to grow my confidence level to a different point, and so to give that back to another veteran, another Pensacola alum, a community member, not just veterans but all people, is something that I'm very passionate about, to give opportunity. There are many people who are seeking that, and there's also many business leaders in this community that want to be able to help, and so marrying, kind of bridging the two was where is my idea and vision for Colorful Voices, and the team behind it. I cannot I cannot tell you the amazing talent of the talented team that really has come together to spearhead this and to move this forward.
Wow, wow. I tell you, from seeing that presentation, it's very powerful. I think that you're going to start a very powerful movement. Uh, if this is turning into a foundation, of course, a nonprofit definitely is something that everyone who is listening should support. I will be posting a link to the presentation that Mr. Timothy Jones actually presented to the Startup Weekend crowd. And so you guys will have the opportunity to hear what he did, what he actually spearheaded and assembling together with his team and all that Startup Weekend. Tim, let's go into some of the initiatives. Now, I mentioned at the beginning you're a student veteran, and you alluded to also that you are at UWF. Let's talk about that. From what I understand, were you at PSC also, Pensacola State College as well?
I was.
Transitioned over the. Okay. Just talk about some of the initiatives that you're trying to do as far as student veteran work at Pensacola State College before, of course, and now at UWF.
Oh, well, absolutely. At Pensacola State College, I was the vice president of the Student Veterans Association, and then I transitioned into the president of PSC. And the goal really is to advocate for our student veterans. College, we are close to, if not more than 3,000 student veterans in this community, and because of that, we have to have an advocate for our voice, and to ensure that our institutions are really are holding to exactly what their initiatives, and that is making sure that the voice of the student veteran is heard, and also that we are providing high-level opportunities for our student veterans as they transition out of the higher education back into the workforce. And so having to be that voice has been something that has been very meant very much to me. And because going to Google headquarters and then working with other student veterans from around the nation to understand the purpose of Student Veterans of America really put lit a fire under me, per se. And to come back here to see that number one, the support that this community shows to our veteran community is second to none. And my goal is to really put a light on Pensacola for the amazing work that is already being done, and then to also help move it forward and innovate for the future.
Now, through your efforts, you have been recognized as a possible candidate, correct, for the National uh, Association of Student Veterans. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. Last year, I was recommended for the student council, and it's a wonderful honor to have had that. This year, we I wasn't selected, and but you know what? We have an amazing group of team student veterans that from around this nation that are speaking for all of the over 1,000 chapters of Student Veterans of America around the world. And so this year, I'm putting my name in the hat again for this honor, and that is to truly make a difference. And that's been my driving force, is to give back. I have been blessed with another opportunity to give back, and I want to be able to do the same thing. And so through my efforts at UWF with UWF Men, the Men's Empowerment Network, and with our student veterans on our campus and in the community, I do feel this time I maybe just a little bit could throw my name in that hat with all the efforts from town.
One thing that I have to say, it's all about building a resume, and that resume starts from today. It doesn't have to hinge on the past. It doesn't have to relate to anything that it does. It's part of it. It's part of your experiences and all, but it doesn't have to hinge on that. It doesn't have to. Doesn't have to be part of the your moving forward, your future plans. Mm-hmm. And you can participate no matter who you are, no matter what adversity you've gone through. Today starts your new path. And I think really, Tim, you are a personification of that. You really have come out the gate with a positive attitude, joining multiple organizations. You are a board member for the Gulf Coast African American Chamber of Commerce, and you've definitely been part of that organization. And being part of all of these other organizations, it really shows that no matter what you've gone through, you can create a positive future for yourself. You can pull up the bootstraps and really get going. I tell you, there's a couple of other things that I want to touch on here that you've actually been part of. You've actually given some key addresses. We're going to stick on UWF. So,
okay.
Given some key addresses. Dr. Judy Bentz, she's called you in to really speak. And I'm going to post some links to those speeches as well, as long as you allow me to, Tim. Absolutely. And Tim has put together his Facebook fan page, so we're going to post a link to that as well. But just talk about that experience and being able to speak in front of the audiences that you've had in relation to just telling your story.
Well, and I can do this now without getting emotional. I will tell you, I shared my story with UWF, and I cannot speak. You can't speak Tim Jones without speaking about UWF. And my university has wrapped their arms around me and has said, Tim, we support you, just like we support the other 13,000 students on our campus and the other alumni coming up. So they heard my story. They wrote up our social media campaign as I Am UWF and did an amazing job on that. I cannot tell you when one of my mentors, Lisa Nichols, talks about serving from your overflow. And I'm overflowing with gratitude to the honor that the university bestowed upon me, giving me the opportunity to address our Board of Governors, to let them know that UWF is about stories. We're all one university. We're all one Argonaut nation, as I say. And having that opportunity meant our UWF truly is my second home. I tell people I was a homeless veteran, and now I'm a veteran with a home. The reality of it is I have two homes, and one home is where I'm at now, and the other home is UWF, where I can wake up and follow my dreams. And having the opportunity to then address the university as an entire community was an amazing honor that I hold close to my heart. And then addressing the Disability Awareness Conference. We talk a lot about my unfortunate past, and I do have post-traumatic stress syndrome, and it is a challenge that I overcome each and every day. And I do it with love, with compassion, and being able to address these communities and address uh, my community. It's been an amazing honor, an amazing ride to be able to say, not only have I come through the fire, I'm being embraced.
Now, in relation to your to PTSD, you're one of the individuals that you feel like for a long time you weren't properly diagnosed. What are you doing? Is that part of your Colorful Voices initiative as well to bring awareness to the non-diagnosis of PTSD?
Absolutely. There's a segment out there that again I didn't know what PTSD was really until I went to jail and
Oh,
found out
you
about
didn't mention that.
it. Yeah. I
That's
didn't.
part of the colorful past, of
That's
course.
part of my colorful past, and I stand on that, and I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing is I'm so happy that that happened is because I took accountability for my life. I take full accountability for myself and my life. I stand on my story. And when that happened, it was like the light finally went off in my brain. And then also there was somebody that finally after 10 years said, we know what's wrong with you and we can help you. So I tell what you don't know until you don't know it. And now I knew that there was something that I could do to address and fix this. And you can't really ever fix it, but I can manage it. I can be aware of it, and I am very much working with my team. There's a team that I get to work with. That number one, I can go to those dark places and I can come out and I can move forward with the issues that I have to move forward with.
If you could speak to the VA, particularly the local VA here in Pensacola, what needs to be done? What can they do right now, Monday morning, to really improve the conditions for veterans like yourself?
Um, that's a great question. And for me to say that, I will tell you that first and foremost for the VA in this community, I say thank you. I say thank you from the bottom of my heart because that a lot of people want to. We live in an imperfect world. There are lots of ways that we can improve any system. Yourself, myself, we can improve everything. So the message that I have, number one, is to keep trying to strive for the perfection that they are doing. Really, my message is for everyone else is that we've got to continuously support them. That same system that a lot of people want to improve is the same system that rescued me. So although I want to say that there's things that they can do as far as communication goes and the communication aspect, that can certainly continue to be improved. I do think they're doing an amazing job, and I don't want that hard work to go unnoticed and unchecked. And we're not hearing enough of the positive stories. There's a lot of stories that we can work on, but there's also some wins, and we've got to address those.
Before we wrap things up, you for anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to hear Tim speak, you are an excellent speaker, presenter, very excellent in what you're doing. And you know, in everything, it takes time, it takes experience. You're speaking from your soul as far as the subjects that you're talking about, and you're very eloquent in the way that you can present that. So is that the future for Tim Jones? Is that to travel around the country telling your story, telling other stories as well, as far as other veterans, people like yourself that have lived in the conditions and experienced the situations that you've experienced? Is that your future, Tim?
Yes, that is my future. That is my present. That is what I'm here to do. I'm called to serve. I'm here to serve my community. I want to serve this country. I want to serve this world. I'm here to inspire and to stand on the story that has brought me to this place. I am in the moment, and I am aware of these blessings, and if I can light a path for someone to follow. I've gone back to the VOA program, and I see those veterans, and I was one of them who was seeking hope, seeking an opportunity. I've got to succeed. I'm going to continue to succeed because there are other veterans that I want them to be able to say that Tim made it, I can make it too, and I'm going to make it. And so that's certainly in my future. That's what I'm working towards now. Check out my Facebook fan page, like that, and follow me. And that's a cheap plug, cheap plug.
Well, no, that's what I
But
was going to get to here, which was, explain how everyone can get in touch with you, email address. So if you prefer for everybody to contact you through your Facebook fan page, give us the URL to that, and just let everybody know, because I would imagine there's some guys out there, there's some students, some veterans, there's some people that there are people that are gonna see your story and be passionate, just as passionate as you are about it. And they're going to want you to come and speak to and put you on a platform, speak to their audience. How can they get in touch with you, Tim?
all right, great, thank you. You can follow me on Twitter. It is Timothy_M_Jones. I post inspirational messages there every day. You can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/I am Timothy M. Jones. You can reach me through those platforms. I am transparent. I want to connect. I want to get out there. So if you invite me, I'm ready. I'm ready and willing to serve each and every one of everyone member of this community.
Tim, it's been great. I tell you, anyone who's out there that's watching right now, these are the stories that we want to talk about. These are the issues that we want to raise. There are very few media publications, especially here in Pensacola, that are highlighting this in a way that we are highlighting. There's some great articles that are written, and I can imagine many articles that are going to be written about you, Tim, in the future, definitely. But that's what we're doing. We're highlighting the issues, whether social, political, here in Pensacola, right here on this show, the Pensacola Perspective. Definitely, if you're interested in highlighting your story, definitely if you're interested in being part of a roundtable discussion with multiple people on, we can support that here live on YouTube and recorded on YouTube as well. Message us and let us know. Facebook.com/the Pensacola Perspective, and suggest us more guests. Suggest yourself as a guest if you want to highlight your issue. And come on. Tim, once again, it's been a pleasure.
It's my honor, and I will leave you with this little nugget. I want to just say I appreciate the work that you're doing in this community. For anyone listening to my voice, I want to tell you that we all have a story. We all have a colorful voice, and we can illuminate that voice within us. And we have to share our story. We have to share. We've got to do it not just for ourselves, but for the world, for the community at large. We become better when we share who we are.
Exactly, and I can't say it any better than that. Peace, everyone out there on Facebook, YouTube, the internet, Twitter, all these social media platforms out there. This is Jabril Suleiman with the Pensacola Perspective, and we'll see you guys next web show.